lot of caffeine, and I was buzzing off my tits. It's probably why I was able to like walk around New York in practically stage condition,
That is true.
and do like 25,000 steps a day. It's a huge appetite suppressant as well. So
Yeah, massively so.
people that start saying, "Oh, I'm struggling with appetite," should realize that, because I watch so many people that are like, "Oh, I'm struggling with my appetite," but they're nailing like a can of Monster a day and 2 coffees. Stop drinking that, and I guarantee you'll start feeling hunger,
Yeah.
because it is such a good appetite suppressant tool. It would really fucking help me for sure when I was at the end of the preparations.
The preparations, exactly. Maybe we should drop that in as part of our conversation bit before we start the topic or whatever.
Yeah, sure. I
Getting
mean,
hungry.
whilst I was saying some of that stuff, I did hit record, so I could always chop it in.
All right,
Um,
that's cool then.
I think, yeah, because I thought I was like, we're actually talking about good shit here, not just
Yeah,
jargon.
exactly. As always, it's good because I'm going to tell you about my week and the fact that my hunger has started to really start to piss me off to the point
You want to eat the
it's
dog?
seriously, it's waking me up in the night, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
holy shit.
God.
Yeah, I've had to give the dog away because I'm just getting too hungry, and
Ugh.
I will eat him. I
Mhm.
haven't. I haven't. Anyway, right, let's get cracking. Okay.
I thought you were being serious there.
Oh, never serious. Morning, guys. Welcome back to the Natty Scene and your favourite Friday morning coffee date with the two M&Ms, Morris and Masita, or AJ and Vic, as you know us at that point. Morning, AJ.
Morning, guys. Thank you for coming back again for another one.
As always, as always. So, AJ, rundown of your week. How the devil have you been?
Yeah, very good. Or even better that I got to see you, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
That was a great day. We're actually getting to see each other twice this week.
I know.
It's
Well, 3
uncanny.
times, including today.
Yes, yeah. So, very good week in the books. Lot of things coming back into my training program on a consistent basis now. So, some of you may well have seen that I've started bench pressing and OHPing again, which is something that I brought OHP back at a point, but it just didn't feel like it was quite there yet. I felt like I potentially wasn't heavy enough or had enough skill acquisition with the movement for it to feel good and for it to actually feel like a shoulder exercise as opposed to something that was just taxing my lower back. You know, when you're quite light and you're working with heavy OHPs, it can become a bit of a lower back dominant move.
Definitely.
So, and I certainly didn't want to turn it into like a push press or something like that. I wanted it to be my usual strict OHP, and I wanted it to feel good. So, loads of those things coming back. I was actually really surprised with my bench press as to how strong that was, because if you've been following me when I was sort of coming out of my last show, so when I finished in 2015 and I came into 2016 off season, it took me a long fucking time, and I mean a long time, to get a 100 kilo bench. Very long. It was the most frustrating thing ever. And I can remember actually getting it for my first set of 4, and it was like an absolute grinder. And then I think I maxed at like a mock powerlifting thing, roughly similar body weight to what I am now, and I maxed bench at 112.5.
Nice.
So that was quite a while ago. So now I'm just trying to build up back to sort of where I was, and I think within the next sort of, dare I say it, 2-3 months, I should be hitting like all-time PBs, certainly on bench. Perhaps not on OHP, because I think I've got about 10 kilos to go. I hit 80 kilos for 4 once, and it was really hard. I can remember how really hard that felt. And I got 70 kilo for a decent 4 yesterday. So we will see how that goes. But squats are feeling awesome again. Had a really good leg session with Mark as well, and we just WhatsApped each other yesterday. We were like, Mark, what's that mean? He said, am I being a pussy, or your quad's really hurting? And I was like, no, mate, like minor a bit. So that my quads are hurting more than they've ever hurt. Like yesterday was spent like just stretching them, foam rolling them, trying to just get some recovery into them, because I need to train them again today somehow. So and I feel good. I feel good this morning. I slept well. obviously I'm eating plenty, so I feel good today. But yeah, other than that, good week, and just usual sort of routine when it comes to nutrition. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably start seeing that I posted less food, and it's because I just got so fucking bored of the questions.
Yeah. What's
So I
in
was
your
like,
bowl?
can I
How
just
do you
sit
make
down
them?
and eat this meal without having to take a picture of it and then deal with 6 DMs about how I cook potato? So I just thought, right, let's just do a little bit less of the image taking of the meals. Let's just focus on eating them. People know that you're eating your meals, you know.
Well, they should do.
But Jack Thorburn likes to create a constant reminder that he's eating meal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, exactly. And supplements and pills and meals in between. And hashtag meat man. And hashtag all the protein.
I reckon if Jack went completely cold on social media for a whole month, people would still know that he'd be waking up 5 a.m., he'd be eating beef, broccoli, and 2 eggs.
No. Cardio first. Cardio first.
Oh, yeah. Actually, he only does cardio 4 times a week.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Still. Or 3 or 4, I think. But people would still know he'd crack away. That's the thing, you know, when you're super consistent in what you do, people know that you're out there killing it. And if they need a constant reminder that, you know, I'm not saying this is bad, you know, it's just part of his content, part of everyone's content if you put up everything that you eat or everything that you do. But I don't think that I sometimes felt that I needed the sort of gratification from other people. I needed the confirmation from other people that I was working hard and I was doing this and doing that. But I think it's quite a nice feeling to feel comfortable in just getting on with it and knowing that people know that you're putting in the work. And that's not to say that we won't put out content, because obviously it's a huge part of what we do. But if there's content that's not there anymore, you can expect we're still doing what we need to do to progress.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
I'm just going to jump in very quickly. Is this hitting like live already? Because I've literally just had an Instagram message from Jack Thorburn.
No way.
That's very funny. I haven't read it yet.
Incognito.
He just said he sent me a message. I'm just like, oh, I swear to God, I'm either bugged or he can listen to this because he knows that we burn him every week.
He is bugged. He's bugged everyone.
That's so
He's probably
funny.
put bugs in any GDA that you buy.
Oh dear, right, stop it now. We do love you, Jack. This is the only reason why we do it. You know, when kids like each other and they pull their pigtails and throw them downstairs and stuff. That's why we do it to Jack, because we love him that much and we burn him. Anyway,
right, your
okay,
week.
cool.
Your week, Vic. How's it been?
Obviously, because I got to see you 10 times better. So we did some heavy deadlifts, which was really cool. And my deadlifts flew up.
Yeah, they were great.
They were really nice deadlifts. To the point where, like, on my last set, I just thought, right, well, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm just going to throw on another couple of biscuits and put an extra 5 on. And they weren't really grinder reps, though. That last one was. I felt that last one a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, really pleased with those. I haven't deadlifted in a while, so to just kind of go back and deadlift like that, and it fly up, I was really happy with it. So I got up to a ton 15 for a set 5 on my last one, so I was quite happy with that. So training's gone well, apart from this bum shoulder. So I can't press, I can't fly, I can't overhead press, I can't fucking brush my hair, I can't do anything like that. So, you know, that's a shitter. But, you know, it is what it is, and it will get better.
What are you doing in terms of rehab for that?
So I'm having a sports therapy massage every week with my guy Tommy here in Crewe, and then I go and see the physio Voldemort, who's like proper... Honestly, sometimes you would think that it's some hippie woo-woo shit that he does, but oh my God, this guy is weird. I was like, I've got a pain in my shoulder and it goes back into my rhomboids and that, and he massaged my foot.
Wow. Fucking hell.
I know, I was like that. You know where
right?
the shoulder is, right? But he massaged my foot and then said, right, press against my hand here. And I was like, oh, I could move my arm. It was very strange, very strange.
Did he do any voodoo flossing?
No, didn't do any voodoo flossing, thank you. But I did have to get naked at one point, so he worked on my ass a little bit.
Oh,
and I was like, weird. So, apparently, though, this weakness on my right-hand side stems from where I tore my hamstring.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, which I mean, if you think about it, we are all interconnected, aren't we? From, from your foot up to your shoulder, you cross over. So, a pain in your right earlobe could actually stem from a pain in your left big toe and that kind of thing, because our systems are really, really clever like that, and we're all connected via lots of different things.
It's kind of how like people do acupuncture. They sort of put pressure points on weird areas that link to other parts of your body. Like, I had acupuncture once for when I had that weird exertion headache based thing. Touch wood, I think it did help. Also, Jack P had a shoulder issue, and he had acupuncture on that, and he said he said it helped a lot. But I really think a lot of what injuries are is quite a lot of a mental issue. Like, so when you're hurt and you get a niggle, you think about it a lot. When you stop thinking about it, or at least you have some, like, if you could take a tablet that said on it, no more injuries, do you think your injury might go away if you just swallowed that tablet and believed that it was like, no more injuries?
It's like the placebo versus the distraction technique. So the acupuncture is the distraction, whereas like obviously a tablet that just kind of says you will have this no more is your placebo effect. It's very interesting actually how psychology does affect various different things. I talked about this actually yesterday on my story about one of my clients. She said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but as soon as I open a packet of biscuits, I'll count into my macros 2 biscuits, but then I'll just go back and eat the packet because the pack's open. So I said, okay, well, to fix that, just buy a smaller pack of biscuits and just have a pack of biscuits, because that way psychologically you're still finishing a packet, but it's smaller and it's still 15 grams. So psychologically, I mean, it works. It sounds weird, but it works. It's just these little like kind of hints and tips. But okay, we're going deep this morning, AJ. Into the whole psychology thing.
It's good though. Makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, other than training and working around the injury and stuff like that, nutrition has been fine, apart from the fact that I have been fucking hungry. Like, last week I told you I was going to eat the dog, and he's been cowering in the corner and hiding in the cupboard and stuff because I've been looking at him kind of going, nice. But so I've had to give him away because he was far too scared of losing his fur. I haven't. My dog is still here. I'll never give my dog away. But it's actually been waking me up in the middle of the night, and my stomach has been so ridiculously hungry, like to the point where I'm like, I am going to go downstairs into the kitchen and eat a tub of cottage cheese.
Wow.
Because that will satiate me.
So
it's a bit weird, but I think all of the issues with the whole bloating and everything, and now that that's settled down, I'm actually digesting everything, I'm actually absorbing everything, things are working so much better. And my weight has like not changed all week. It has been exactly the same.
That's a good sign.
Exactly. So I'm assuming that everything is working perfectly, which is nice. But we were talking about hunger previously, weren't we? And talking about how you get through some dark days in hunger, and that caffeine is an amazing hunger suppressant. And we've actually given up a lot of caffeine that we were having because we were becoming quite reliant on it, weren't we? Says AJ, yawning to the high heavens this morning.
Did I yawn?
You did, yeah. You did that kind of like stifled, muffled thing that everybody makes a really funny face on.
I was like, when did I yawn? But yeah, from the perspective of caffeine, I've been doing it for quite a while. I think since the start of the year, I've been not having sort of my morning coffee and instead having decaffeinated. And it's quite funny now. You're seeing like quite a few people actually understand why we're doing that, and then they're doing it as well. But it's super important. It's not only from the point of like utilizing caffeine as a tool, it's also realizing that caffeine is pro-inflammatory, and when you want to spend as much of your time in a parasympathetic nervous system as possible, you don't want to be releasing sympathetic hormones by drinking a ton of caffeine, which can increase cortisol, and can just heighten yourself. You don't want to be heightened. Being heightened is a sign that you're switching on the sympathetic nervous system, which is not where you want to be when you're trying to recover. So using decaffeinated drinks, especially like away from training window, or the training window, is certainly preferential. And I think that you can still have like 1 or 2 a day, but like Vicky said, use it as a tool. So like you wouldn't do like a load of cardio right at the start of prep. Don't drink a load of coffee and a load of caffeinated drinks. Use it as something that you can implement later along the line, as a tool, as a way to work around hunger. But also what's Vicky saying about hunger and sort of being deeper into an off season and still dealing with hunger, it just shows the individual variability in the recovery process of a contest prep, because you've gained some weight but you're still very, very hungry. It shows that leptin, ghrelin perhaps aren't where they need to be for you to have nice static hunger levels, and that's where you'd want to be, because being in an off season and waking up in the middle of the night starving is not optimal. It's not where you want to be, and it's definitely not where you want to start a prep either. So some people are just more hungry than others, but it's very relative to what's going on from a hormonal perspective, what's going on from a potentially a psychological perspective, and also just a body fat set point perspective. So some people can sort of get away with being super lean and not being hungry at all, but other people could have to gain more body fat before they start to feel normal. I'm from a hunger perspective, I think your hunger will start to level out at some point, but you'll probably have to gain more weight for that to happen. That's the realism of it.
That's it. I mean, like you were just talking about with leptin and ghrelin and things, I think my hormones are always going to be messed up. And we actually spoke about this with a friend of mine called Harry Bristow. If anybody hasn't heard of Harry Bristow, go and check him out, because he's a really, really inspirational bodybuilder. Cool. Harry is basically a male version of me. When it came to eating disorders, we were both hospitalized. He was full-blown anorexic, then turned into bulimia and had this binge purge syndrome. Still suffers with extremely mentally today. And honestly, that when we spoke to each other, it's almost like we had a connection, almost to the point, not as strong as mine and yours, because mine and yours is weird. I'll talk to you about that afterwards, because I'm not going to make that public. But with Harry, we had this weird connection where it was like, okay, thankfully, it's not just me. I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
And even though he eats a crap load of food as well, he is still hungry. The minute he finishes his food, he is still hungry. He's waking up in the middle of the night. So he is like me. But I think it's because when you get that low into your body fat set point and things, your hormones are always going to be messed up, because I think psychologically, again, the whole psychology thing, it does play an impact into how you perceive hunger. And because we were hungry for years, I just don't think it'll ever go away, regardless of how much I ate. So yeah, very interesting. But again, still being very, very lean in the off season. Obviously, both of us are still very lean. We have still got striations out, in various different places. And nicely pointed out by Darren, I still have bigger arms than you, because I out-angle you. Angles are important, people. If you want to take progress pictures, get the angle right. But speaking about being lean in the off-season, how are you feeling being this lean, and how would you perceive being too lean in the off-season?
I feel absolutely fine where I am right now. I'm like I said, I put up a post yesterday. I said, I've got appetite, but I'm not anywhere near as hungry as I was in prep. I quite happily eat all my food for the day, finish my food, and just go to bed and not have a second thought about it.
Wow.
So from a hunger perspective, absolutely fine. From a daily energy perspective, absolutely fine. Like, there's never a point in the day where I feel like it's a hassle to do anything I've got to do. Whereas in the past, just like if I had to go to the shops and get out of my routine and do an extra bit of walking to get somewhere, I'd be like, I just can't be bothered to do it, or it's just a extra effort. Obviously, I'd do it. It'd just be extra effort. But now it doesn't even come into my head. Things like that, so I just crack on with it. So for me, like, I feel absolutely fine. Whether or not it's absolutely like the 100% optimal in terms of the lifts that I could be doing, if I'd gained more weight, perhaps I could be stronger. But then again, you just got to ask yourself, like, what is the extra body fat worth? Is it worth gaining that to gain, an extra 10, 20 kilos on a squat or a deadlift or a bench press? Is it worth the extra, half a pound of tissue you might accrue out of that, or is it worth just sort of keeping that body fat at bay and then not having to lose it again and potentially, holding strength better throughout a diet? There's so many ways to look at it, but I think this is why you should take your off season in sort of like a phasical approach. So you should look at it as like, I'll push up to this sort of body weight and I'll just hang out there for a little bit and I'll see how my training's going, what my recovery is like, what my appetite is like, and all those markers. And then if you feel like you can add like an auxiliary push to that and then go up to another body weight and then test that body weight again, then of course then that's just how you should play it, in my opinion. And there's absolutely no way I'll be staying at this body weight for the whole of my off season, because it's just not what I want to do. I want to basically eventually, over the course of a long period of time, take my body weight to heavier than it's ever been before, to purely just see what strength I can accrue in that region and also what my physique body comp looks like. Sure. So if I ever see my body comp slipping out of where I want it to be, I'll simply just utilize a week or 2 weeks, bring it back a little bit, and then just go again. Whether or not I will implement full-on mini cuts at any point, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure as to whether I want to do that versus just seeing body comp slip a little bit too much, bring it back just a tad, and then just hold and then go again. I think it's an inch between both. So the amount of time you'll spend mini cutting versus the amount of time you'll spend holding and coming back a little bit, holding, coming back a little bit, is minuscule. I think the argument for each is purely preferential and psychological, and it's something that I've done in other clients' off seasons as well. So we'll look at pictures and I'll be like, okay, for the next 2 weeks, we're just going to drop things down a little bit. And most of my clients are on pretty high carbohydrate diets anyway, so it's just a simple fact of bringing carbohydrates down a little bit. They just simply drop a little bit of glycogen and water retention, and they clean up a little bit. So psychologically, they look a bit better, and then they can psychologically feel more comfortable with continuing to gain. So yeah, that's something that I have done with clients. I just think that full blast mini cuts, they're 4 to 8 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks where you're not growing at all, and you will probably lose some strength knowing the deficit, and you will also get addicted to it, which is what we saw. Like we shared a picture between each other of someone on Instagram that was sort of talking about this being maintainable. In reality, it's very much not maintainable in terms of a look. And it just frustrated both of us in terms of how people are perceiving an off season. There's a difference between staying lean to stay insulin sensitive, and have favourable nutrient partitioning, etc., and grow tissue effectively. But there's a difference between that and effectively just staying fucking stage lean, and that's
restricting yourself.
That's not
very much so.
That's not how we want to be. And good luck when you next prep, because you'll have nowhere to go, and you'll just look at yourself and you'll be like, okay, well, I've got like 5 pounds to lose or 3 pounds to lose. I'm already on low calories, so it's just about, again, just suffering a bit more when you've been suffering your whole off season. Like fuck that.
Isn't it?
No thanks.
No, and it's weird, isn't it? Because again, it comes down to psychology and perception. I just found a Christmas bauble, apparently. Threw it off the mantelpiece. That's bad. We're in March. Anyway, I'm just decorating early this year. So what was I saying?
You were saying it's psychological.
That's it. Yeah. So in terms of how you see yourself in the off season, I think this has got a lot to do with being quote unquote lifestyle lean or walk around lean. But it's also about being lifestyle off season or lifestyle bulk. Yeah. Because when we were training together, and I can't remember what move that you were doing, but you did something and I said, your calves look fucking massive. And you were like, calves? I've got no calves, and all the rest of it. Until we actually did a video, you looked at them and you said, shit, my calves do look massive there. It's like, you see, and that wasn't just an angle. But But it is perception, isn't it? Because even now I look at my physique and I think, okay, I'm probably due a cleanup now. I could probably do somewhat of a cleanup.
Yeah.
And then I shoot you some progress pictures for an eye and you're just like, yeah, you're still fucking lean, Vic. It's like, okay, so maybe I don't have to clean up. So it's that kind of perception, isn't it? And obviously knowing what I've been through in terms of eating disorders and restricting and binging and mental clarity and all the rest of it, I would honestly much favour myself looking this way now and putting up with, okay, I'm a little bit quote unquote fluffy. I hate that term, but I'm a little bit fluffy rather than being draggy, feel like shit in the gym because I love being strong. Like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Some deadlifts. I haven't hit deadlifts in a while for those amount of sets and stuff. And I felt strong and felt good doing it. And I still carried on and we blasted a session. Yep. It was quite funny actually because AJ said to me, we are powering through this session. And then I'm like, we've been here for 2 hours. But yeah, we do train for a long time.
My sessions are ridiculous.
And it's not like we fuck about when we train either. We don't chat, we don't, mess around or anything like that. We get on and train.
That's exactly why I said we were blasting through it, because I thought we were going pretty quickly.
Yeah. 2 hours later, and
we were
it's
there
like
for the best part of the day.
That's it. But it was very funny. I mean, it was a good session as well. But yeah, in terms of staying so lean in the off season, let's look at the negatives of being so lean, like contest lean, right?
Yeah.
You're cold. Really fucking cold.
Oh, yeah.
You're not strong in the gym. You're not making PBs in the gym. We noticed that people who are staying contest prep lean don't put videos out about their progression in the gym.
Nothing,
right? And it might simply be because of the fact that you are not making progression in the gym. You're just going through the same motions, the same movements, the same weights, the same reps, and never actually getting better. Yeah. And then when you do get on stage...
Not doing stuff you've never done before. You're doing stuff that you've done every week. If not, you're going backwards.
Yeah.
Good luck growing. Because you have to do shit you've never done before.
Exactly. Now, if you want to get back on a stage and look exactly the same as you did the last year, then okay, fine, kudos to you. If you want to compete year in, year out, week in, week out, great. Stay 5 pounds above stage weight and stay just a little bit more comfortable. Your hormones are going to get fucked up. Your mental state with food is going to get fucked up. You are always going to be food focused. I had a chat about this actually with an opposing client of mine. He's not my client. I'm not prepping him. For anybody who saw us on YouTube, that's the only comment I'm going to make about that. I'm not prepping him, but I am doing his posing. And yesterday I saw him, and he has literally just started, to watch Man vs. Food on rerun. And it's, and I asked him this, and he found it weird that I knew he was doing that. I said, are you food focused? You're looking at food porn on Instagram, and that's all that's full of your thing? And he's like, fuck, yeah, I am. It's first time prepping. So he doesn't know
it's
about...
It's always the first timers that get relatively food focused.
Yeah, bad style.
I can say my last contest prep, I had minimal food focus. I think towards... But that's
because your focus was so direct.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Exactly. It was, again, a different psychological point of view. Whereas, like, with other people who are first-timers, they don't actually understand how much they want something on stage. Whereas, like, with you... You had that focus from 2016.
Yeah.
And that's all you were focused on. So you had the time and no space in your head to be focused on burgers and pizza. Yeah. And you already knew post-show you weren't going to be food focused post-show either.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. It works. At some points I was second-guessing myself. I was like, am I food focused? Am I going to go to America and just binge on everything? And then... You're not. Like, if you tell yourself that you won't have that happen, it won't happen. If you love your diet enough to adhere to it post show, then you'll be absolutely fine. I think that's a very important thing, is that you must create a diet that you enjoy. And to be fair, most clean bodybuilding foods are pretty fucking enjoyable, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Anabolic chippies. Who the hell doesn't like anabolic chippies?
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't like things like oats and protein. I just don't, unless you don't know how to cook it. That is.
And if you don't know how to cook it, just ask AJ.
Just quit bodybuilding. God damn it! If you can't cook, you can't bodybuild.
That's so funny. I actually had a DM the other day about how I cook my egg whites.
Oh no!
I put them in the microwave,
Yes.
and then do you know what they argued with me?
You're doing it wrong, Vic.
They argued to me. So I said that because I get the liquid egg whites, I just whack them in a thing, put them in the microwave, and then put them in my wraps and stuff. Because I'm still haven't put in whole eggs. That caffeine hit is catching up with you again.
Yeah.
So I said I just put them in the microwave, and he said, "Oh, well, AJ cooks his in a frying pan."
Oh,
I was like, because I know. I said that's because AJ makes an omelette. I'm not making an omelette. I'm just cooking egg whites.
For God's sake.
Honestly, because this is what I'm saying about our connection being a bit weird, because everybody thinks we are the same person. If you have an omelette, I have to have an omelette. If you cook it this way, I have to cook it that way. If I get breast implants, mate, you're going to have to get breast implants. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or calf implants.
You don't need calf implants. Yours are massive at the minute. But yeah, it's very, very funny. I do get them. But I think that was like one of my all-time favorites, along with the... I've tried Googling anabolic chippies, but all I find is your name and I don't know how to make them. So how do you... That was amazing. That is amazing. But yeah, so yeah, lifestyle lean.
Googling anabolic chippies. Oh,
seriously, it's so funny. Google anabolic chippies, the Tiny Titan comes up.
I bet it does. You're the only one hashtagging it.
I know, right? And now I'm really pissed off because I can't eat them. Talk about irony at its best.
Oh dear.
Oh, I've got the giggles now, and now my abs hurt. Giggling is a good abs workout. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good for the abdominals, to dial them in.
To dial them in.
Yeah.
Not the tilapia. It's giggling. Just giggle, guys. Giggle is for life.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are slightly coming off topic.
Cool.
So, yeah, is there anything else that you want to mention about being lean in the off-season to a point?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. You know, you're just going to be hungry. You're not going to improve.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to sort of raise your food whatsoever in terms of creating some metabolic flexibility for next time. You're probably going to be doing energy expenditure that you don't really have to do in an off season, and from a lifestyle perspective as well, you're probably not going to be going out to eat with your family. It's probably going to be getting in the way of relationships in terms of sex drive and hormonal functioning. You're probably going to be single as fuck. So yeah, it's just not optimal, really, is it?
No, exactly. It's just about being savvy and being a bit smart. And talking about being savvy as well, just one thing to end on, actually. Guys, if you're going to use pre-workout and you are a natural tested bodybuilder, check the fucking ingredients.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? I'm not being funny. You can pick up pre-workouts from a bodybuilding store or a supplement store or whatever that's on the high street, and it will have banned substances in it.
Yeah.
And then you'll take it, and then all of a sudden you'll go, oh, shit, that's banned. And then that's it. You fucked them for 7 years.
Yeah, game over.
You know, and it's, you know, unless it's like the ones that are banned in competition, which, by the way, is involved with cold and flu medication because it's got phenylephrine in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't take cold and flu medication 6 weeks before you go and compete. Right? It's being savvy. And if you're unsure about it, there are loads of people that you can ask whether this supplement is okay to use. And there's groups and things like that. And go on the WADA forum and everything is listed on there. Don't be so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I got pissed off about it before. So, and it's not me, by the way, I haven't taken it. But yeah, just be savvy with what you're taking, really. And just like you're going to be savvy in the off season, if you want to progress, you want to get bigger, you've got to make decisions. I've made a really big decision not to compete this year for the simple fact that I've had injuries, I've had surgery, I've gone backwards, my digestion, sleeping, etc. hasn't been optimal. And bottom line is, I want to look better than I did last year, and I want to blow everybody else out of the water.
Yeah.
Which I thought I did last year, but so because of that, I've made a savvy decision to take longer in my off season to recover properly, to recuperate, to get my food as high as possible, without gaining obviously too much body fat to the point where it's going to be really damn hard to come down. But because of that, I know that I'm going to make optimal progress.
Yeah.
So nice note to finish on. Be savvy. Work hard. Don't
Sweet.
get too fat.
Cool. Thank you for listening, guys, as usual. Any questions that you want us to cover in future episodes, just let us know, and we'll chat again next week.
Indeed. Love you.
Cool. Cheers. Bye, guys.